Okay. Hello. Hey, Kieran. How's it going, man? Nice to see you here. All right. I'm just kind of looking at what we're doing today. We are looking at inking one of the token cards. Um, hey, Nick. Thank you. Yeah, I'll show you my screensaver again. Yeah, I've had that for years. Uh, I have all of my token cards here. You can see the files that I use for it. Uh, and today we are going to be inking this guy here. Oh, Jonas is back. Hey, Jonas. Yeah, here we are. I think it's the first fully digital inking I've done here in a long time. So, yeah, glad to have you here. Oops, it's a bit loud, isn't it? Alexa, volume level 4. Okay. So, oh, just read is back. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everyone. It's always nice to see the usual. Well, I was going to say faces, but the usual names here. Okay, so this is kind of how the angel is looking. I'm gonna blind that layer for now. I'm going to show you the original sketch that I did in pencil in my sketchbook. It kind of looks like this, a really kind of shitty, blurry picture that I took with my iPad. If I'm going to ink digitally, that's kind of what I do. I just take a quick picture and just kind of fit it in here in the file. Since I'm going to be kind of drawing over it, it doesn't really matter as much. So yeah, um, and usually what I do is I lower the opacity a little bit, kind of enough to see the back of it, and I start sketching over it. You can see here, this is the actual pencil drawing that I did. Obviously, I moved it a little bit, and I usually use my pencil brushes for this type of this part of the process. So uh, we go to brushes, and I've got the chrome pencils here. These are brushes that I've kind of customized slowly as I've been kind of working on different things. And the one that I use for this part of the process is the chrome messy pencil brush. And I guess I use blue because I'm used to the blue kind of pencil lead from when I worked traditionally back in the day. It will Back in the day you had to use blue pencil leads because once you inked on top of it, you will scan it and it will only pick up the black ink and the blue will stay behind. Obviously, that's not needed now, but I still like to use blue for it. So you can see here, okay, let me pull the layer. You can see here how it works. And that's kind of why I always use kind of blue pencil for it. Um, and these brushes are kind of sensitive, kind of you can feel the pressure in them, and you can also do this kind of pencily shadowy thing so you know where to fully ink stuff. uh, ah, Let me see, the music's a bit loud for me. Alexa, volume 3. There you go. Okay, can't hear myself. All right, so um, I'm trying to go for a really kind of scary looking angel, kind of end of days type of angel, very apocalypse, last book of the Bible type of thing. So I'm adding all of these kind of tiny eyes here, and I haven't added the ones on this wing. So I'm gonna do a line here, line here, just kind of, kind of to get an idea of what the shape of the wing is, and then add eyes to it. So I'm gonna add an eye there, right there. Just wanted to look unsettling and kind of creepy. But that's why his uh, facial expression is just kind of very kind of poker face. You know, he doesn't really show much. I feel like that's a lot scarier in an angel. Okay, so we're gonna do some of these eyes looking to the side, just like that. And we'll give them this kind of small eyelids, makes it look a bit creepier. And we'll give them different shapes. Now, I'm not an expert on Magic the Gathering, despite of the fact that I've made a few cards for them. Obviously, I'm a player, but I'm not a professional player. So I wasn't sure if the angel had to be quite benign. It had to look like a hero type of angel, as I like kind of evil looking angels better. Okay, this one here, little eyelid there. So you can see how it's kind of shaping up. And another thing here is you see these red lines here on the top. I'm going to blind them, and you can see them again. That is the area in which, whoop, my pencil is about to run out of battery. Fantastic. That is the area in which you have um, the actual card showing the image. And so obviously on top here, you'll see that's where the title of the card will be. And from here, that's where the text of the actual card will show up. So it's kind of good to have a guidance of where kind of more or less you're going to see of it. I'm going to resize this angel later, as I feel like perhaps it'll be nicer to see more of it and bring it closer. But we'll see about that. Let me see how my pencil is doing. That is fantastic timing for my pencil to run out of battery. Let's see. Okay, 20%. In the meantime, I'll kind of I'll show you stuff here. So, for example, I'm gonna hide that. I'm gonna hide the sketch, and I'm gonna show you the goblin card that I did. You can see it here, and you can see the red lines showing me where all the other bits and elements of the token are going to kind of fall into place. So that helps you a lot to see what part is kind of quite visible of it. Same with the warrior card here. I believe this one I kind of lowered it a bit with the final card, but you can see some of it here. And I can show you some of the process behind the goblin card. Yeah. Well, you know, if you're saying that the angel has berserk vibes, that I'll take that as a compliment, and that only means I'm going in the right direction with it. So thank you, Kieran. Um, okay, colors out, and then you can see the inks uh, out, and you can see the actual sketch that I did for it. You can see the bits where I needed some kind of guides, and I kind of drew in red to see how the weapon will go, and I will follow that. Uh, and you can see the evolution of the actual sketches here. Yeah, that was a very early rough sketch there. So anyway, it went from that to that to that, and that's how we get the final result for it. All right, let me see where my pencil is. 36%. All right, I think that should do it. Okay. The process that took your advice and the traditional ink on paper image. Nice, nice, just read. Yeah, it's kind of good to kind of mix them up. Obviously, digital is very convenient, but there's something about traditional inking that adds a little bit extra to it. Okay, we're going back to our angel here. We're gonna keep on adding creepy eyes to the left wing on here, and let's see where. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're still using the messy pencil brush, and we're gonna keep on adding more eyes here. By the way, if you want to use these very same pencils, these very same brushes, you can find those on my site on chrome.ink. Um, And you can buy just the pencils if that's what you need. If you feel like sketching the same way I do for getting these roughs done. Okay. Okay, okay, creepy eye there, creepy eye there. Be nice to have a big one somewhere here. Yeah, the goblin actually got a lot cuter, and I think that does tend to happen as I rework stuff. In the rough, he looked a bit more evil, and I can't say I did that on purpose. I think that just naturally happened. Okay. All right, we got enough creepy eyes in there, I think. Uh, can I add another one? Let's try and add a tiny one here. No, not too crazy about that one. Let's get that one out, and maybe a big one there. I like to kind of have them looking in different directions, which instinctively means they're moving, and the eye, pardon the pun, your eyes as a viewer, reads them as if all the eyes are moving at the same time. Okay, so I think that's kind of pretty good. Now, also I want this angel to look quite symmetrical in many ways. You can see I've done some markings here, uh, stuff like that, and like that to kind of get the right kind of center of the whole character. But we have guides and grids here that actually help us do that. So I'm going to use that. Go to the canvas and I go to the drawing guide and I edit the drawing guide. So I only want to see lines that go through the middle. So I'm just going to make the grid bigger, and that will show me the very middle of the whole canvas. And also I'm going to make the thickness a bit wider, and I'm going to change the color to something red or pink so I know where the actual guides go. There we go. Okay. Uh, yes, Nick, I did do the podcast, and let me have a look at where the podcast is. It is it was actually quite fun. We went on and on for about an hour. I'm looking at my emails right now, so just bear with me. Uh, Podcast. Okay, it should be out. I think tomorrow. Actually, it should be out tomorrow, and the name of the podcast is Manga Tac Pot. I'm going to look it up here so you guys can actually let me see. Okay, Manga Tac Pot. Oh, got it right there. Oh, okay. Am I getting it wrong? Let me have a look. Manga Tac Pot. Okay, Manga Tac Pot. Here we go. This is the one. So I'm gonna open it up here. Just gonna open Spotify. Is it? Uh, there you go. That's the podcast, and it should be the next episode, which apparently is coming out tomorrow. So this is the one for those of you asking about the podcast, where I've been raving on about Tekken Concrete and Taiyo Matsumoto. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so yeah, so now we got these pink lines which are showing us the middle of the canvas. So I'm going to take, okay, I'm going to delete, there's a lot of layers. I'm going to take this off, which is the layers from the old cards. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this just in case I need the original lines. And I'm going to move this right to the middle and maybe make it slightly bigger. Perhaps I don't mind the halo going a little bit over the letters Okay, kind of right there. I think that's better cropping from my point of view. All right, hey Dan, you're right. Do I leave my pressure curve linear in Procreate or have I modified it? Dan, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've modified anything to do with the curve linear thing in Procreate. And to be even more honest with you, I don't think I know how to. So yeah, if there is any way of looking at it, I can look at it for you. But I haven't done anything myself. I think I've done very little changes to Procreate as it is. So yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to compare this cropping to the one we had before. So yeah, I believe this one is a lot stronger. We get more of an impact from looking at the card right away. It's also kind of quite centered. Now, it could be a bit lower actually. Let's see. Right there. There you go. How are you guys feeling about it? Okay, so Dan is going to show me this. I go into wrench, preferences, and then I go pressure and smoothing. I don't think this is it. Add preferences here and pressure and smoothing. Okay, here we go. Now you can have a look. I think it's all the kind of default settings from Procreate. So yeah, thank you. Oh, and I'm glad you enjoy the brushes. We're actually using the Chrome Messy Pencil, and for the inking, we'll be using one of the actual Chrome brushes that a lot of you have already. And again, if you don't have them, you can always go and find them on my site on chrome.ink. Okay. So these are good cropping. Nick agrees. So we're going ahead and ink this bad boy here. So I'm going to flatten this so it's a lot easier to kind of handle it, because at the moment I have a lot of layers from stuff that I needed to move around. For example, the hands on the handle of the sword, I needed to kind of be able to move that around. So I drew that on a different layer because I needed to kind of modify the height at which it's sat. So okay, so I'm going to merge that, flatten that. Okay, and now I can actually lower the opacity. We're going to blind that layer with the guiding lines. So I don't need them anymore right now. Okay, and we can get cracking with the actual inking of it. Cool Tunes is quite impressed by the digital side of it. Believe me, once you do it a few times, it's not that difficult, and especially with Procreate, everything is quite intuitive, and it's you know, it's a very easy learning curve when it comes to Procreate. So don't you get overwhelmed by it. Okay, Yumani is here. Thank you so much. It's nice seeing you here. Okay, let's pick a brush. Also, we're going to place this on a different layer. We've got this layer, we're going to name it. I usually don't name my layers because I'm the only one using these files, but I'm going to try and pretend to be tidy in front of all of you. So, inks. And we're going to call this rough. Right, that way we know where we are, and it just feels a lot tighter. Okay, yeah, Dan, thank you. Yeah, if you obviously if you can afford it, and you know you feel like you need to, I have the Procreate course online. You can get it there, and it's a bunch of videos of me explaining how to use the software, and I think it's pretty good for beginners, and also to kind of expand your knowledge on Procreate if you already know a few things from it. Do I have the 12.9 iPad? Yes, that's the iPad I've got. I've got a professional, well, yeah, the iPad Pro 12.9, which I'm about to change this year. I've had this one for a while. So, yeah, I think this will be the last few months that I'm going to have this iPad. Okay, and it's not because it doesn't work. It's just I fancy having a new one. I think they have new screens and they're a lot faster. So I'm working with 600 dpi files when it comes to Birking and all the other stuff. So yeah, it just feels natural to kind of change my iPad right now. So inks, that's going to be in black ink right here. I'm tired of this music, so I'm going to stop the music right now. Just give me a second. Alexa, stop. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. Um, okay, cool tunes. When you comic creators, how many do you need to make a day as a paid comic artist? How many? Well, my editor and my uh, writer, kind of creative partner, I'm sure he would love for me to create, I don't know, 2 to 3 pages a day. But in reality, I can only do about 4 to 5 pages a week. I'm not probably not the fastest comic artist, but I care about the quality of it, and I care about the process, and enjoy it, and I want to enjoy the process of making comics. I don't want it to become a type of job, like an office job, where I have to hit all these silly deadlines at the risk of ruining the quality, or people not being able to see the genuine passion for the comic that I'm making. So we'll see. So far, it hasn't been a problem for me, but I wish I was faster. But I'm not going to sacrifice quality and genuine enthusiasm for my own work. Okay, so we're going for the chrome brushes, and I believe I want to use the Muji 3. Let's have a look how that goes for texture. I might need something a bit more textury. Let me see the chalk mode Chrome 1. I might use this guy here. Yeah, you see this one has a better texture that I like. Now I just need to decide on the actual size of it. 2%. Okay, that seems about right. So we're using the charcoal mode Chrome 1, and that's size 2. And oh, hey Rob, sorry I miss you coming in the chat. Nice to have you here. And okay, let's do it. Do let me know if you have any questions. And we're gonna start by inking this little bit here. Aha, this brush, it kind of drips sometimes. Okay, right there. Okay, it's a nice and slow process, and it's quite enjoyable, and uh, it's a good chance to kind of correct things that you didn't get around to doing during the rough stages with the pencil. So I'm gonna make this a lot broader here. Now that we have a center line, I can actually center that a lot better. There you go. Have some shading here. Okay. And there we go. So that's kind of the helmet done there. I'll add a bit of shadow here, shadow there. It gives the impression that the helmet is kind of floating a little bit over the face. There you go. You can see it from far away. It's a bit here that kind of is bothering me. Okay. And we're going to do this little thunder bit there. And I'm going to make it quite symmetrical here. A bit of texture. A bit of shadow here. That's the helmet so far. And let's go for the nose. mouth. You can barely see his lips. I want the kind of superior, kind of patronizing look that angels have, especially in kind of Bible stories and religious pamphlets. Angels always look kind of like they know better than you, and it's quite scary. So, okay. And now let's go for that flowing kind of biblical hair. Angels must use really good shampoo. Look at that. Look at those locks. Oh yeah. Now that's holy conditioner right there. Now I made this brush so kind of loose, but one of the settings makes it drip sometimes. So you've maybe noticing every now and then I have to kind of tap back because it spills, which is quite realistic, I guess, but it's not convenient when you're trying to ink something in front of people. So anyway, let's go for the jaw. And adding some dents. I love to add texture to my characters and kind of wear and tear to everything. Oh, there you go. That's one of the splashes there. Stupid. Ah, okay, okay. That's how we get it now. And so you can see the actual sword is a bit off center. Let me see if I can fix that a little bit. Don't want to go too into it. It doesn't, it's not a big deal, but if I can help it, I would like it to be right in the middle. So we'll see. You see, kind of ruined it a little bit. Let me see. Okay, that feels about right. Right in the middle. There we go. Okay. Now this is all black. That's a scary looking angel right there. Yeah, that's right, Kieran. Everything I can add kind of battle damage to a whale, I feel like it kind of makes it a lot better. Okay, now let's go for his pauldron here. Try and make it very fancy looking. Engrave with thunder, but we don't want it to look a bit too much like Hercules, you know. Okay. Damage, texture. I'm not okay with this here. It doesn't feel center, so I'm going to try and redraw that a little bit so we get a kind of nice and white center. Okay. And if you guys see me doing anything weird or that you can't really see how I do it on here, just let me know and I'll happily go over it and show you what I'm doing. Like I said, I think Procreate is a nice kind of entry-level software for digital drawing. and not even entry level because obviously I use it all the time. So it's just very easy to use. It's not as daunting as Clip Studio or Photoshop. Okay, so we'll have some little scars. I like to think this angel is all full of scars. It's all about self-punishment and self-flagellation. Very on point with this angel. Yeah. Okay, finish the other bits of armor. We add bits of shadow from every section of this pauldron, as each section of these armor falls onto the next one, so they all have a little bit of shadow underneath it. There you go. Texture. And we move on to the hand and the sword, the actual sword itself. So handle here, handle there. I'm going to try and center this again. You can see how it's a slightly bit off. So we're going to bring it here. There we go. Oh, it's way off. I apologize. I need to fix it properly. All right. Okay. So we got Nick. He always found the occasional slight break in the line satisfying. You do? All right. Well, it makes it feel quite realistic, I guess. And Jonas says he wish he will come to Android devices. Oh yeah, Procreate. I forgot about that. It's only on iPad, which is very weird. I guess the consolation is Clip Studio, which is just as good, but it is a bit more complicated if you're not used to stuff like that. Yeah, I forgot entirely that Procreate is only for iPad. Okay, so hands here. I like to put gloves on my characters, but I've realized that angels in the Bible, they all have kind of their hands out, and they're always this kind of over the top, realistic, kind of Renaissance hands. So I wanted to go for that look. Therefore, he is not wearing any gloves. Okay. No, that's a weird thumb. Let me repeat that. There you go. Okay. Working our way through his right hand. And they need to look just like they're resting on top of the sword, so they can't really look like they're grabbing it. This is a very relaxed and judgy angel, so he needs to look like he's just judging you with his stare. Okay, I need to fix this. Just give me 1 second. It's a lot better, and that's what we got so far. Now we are going to work on this part of the arm. It's a very weird pose. Okay. So I've got all these kind of ribbons flying out of him, and there is no real reason for them other than they look very biblical, if that makes any sense. So I've added a bunch of ribbons flying around it. Here, you can see it there. Okay, have I played any games lately? Yes, I've been playing Space Marine 2. Um, I think I'm 60% through the actual campaign mode at the moment. I don't have enough time to play it. As you guys know, I recently moved into a new studio, so I'm working on my comic and Patreon and all of these, all of my projects during the week, Monday to Friday. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm spending time fixing my studio, chopping wood, making my own desks by hand, and hanging shelves, etc. So I don't have a lot of time to play games these days. But whenever I get a chance, that's the one game I've got kind of waiting for me. Space Marine 2. And honestly, it's quite a stunning game. I'm enjoying it so far. Although I've got a feeling I'm not playing the right mode of the game. One of the things I like about games is customizing my characters, giving them different kind of armor and like different looks. And I haven't been able to do that yet on Space Marine 2. I know there is a section where you can do it, but so far it hasn't given me any options. So I've got a feeling that I need to finish all of the campaign before I can do that and play a different mode of the game. So I'm kind of waiting for that. And we'll see, because I'm a Warhammer fan, and while I do love anything Warhammer, Ultramarines are not my favorite chapter. So I can't wait to kind of change that uniform and change the banners and add kind of sacred ribbons to my Space Marine and change a lot of things. So yeah, we'll see if I can do that soon. But yeah, whenever I get like a little bit of time off, I sit down and I play Space Marine 2. Yeah, we'll see where we'll see how long it takes me to actually finish a game in between sessions. Okay, more ribbons here. These are very satisfying to ink kind of flow with the line. There we go. And every now and then you can blind the actual rough and see how the inks are looking. And this is what we got so far. Not very different from what we do with the light table when I'm doing it traditionally. You guys have obviously been on the live stream where I do it traditionally, and I kind of keep on turning on and off the light table to see how everything is going. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Okay, let's do this bit. I might do a bit of shadowing here to just make it look a bit more sinister. Yeah, that works. All right, and we add shadow to the hair here because it's falling on his chest. So it will make sense that it kind of casts a little bit of shadow there. All right, let's carry on. I am more of a night watch. Yes, you absolutely know it, just read. I like a bit of chaos, marine stuff. I'm more of a kind of night lord kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like no offense to anyone who loves the Ultramarines, but they're such Boy Scouts. They're not kind of my cup of tea when it comes to different chapters. So yeah, I'm enjoying the game, but I can't wait to change that uniform and just kind of have a bunch of skulls hanging from my character. All right, we're working on the halo. It doesn't have to be perfect. In theory, you could make a perfect circle here in Procreate by holding the pen just like that, and then you add your finger to it, and it makes this perfect circle. But it feels a bit too mechanical for me, and I think it takes away a bit of the charm of the hand-drawn stuff. I mean, or maybe I'm just saying charm, and it's just an excuse for having wonky lines. But I'd rather just kind of try and have a go at it myself. There you go. It doesn't look too bad. Uh, there you go. And with the Space Marine, you do get to play with the Death Watch at the beginning, and that's really cool. And I was quite excited because I thought I was going to have the chance to play as a Death Watch character throughout the whole game, but it was just for the intro. Okay. Now let's work on those creepy wings with eyes. It's the main part of a character, I think. So. You can see I'm adding a few feathers here and there, trying to give it more of a wing look. The raft didn't have any of that, as obviously it's just a raft and I can't just sit there adding details where I know I'll be able to add them later. So So just randomly add feathers here and there, and I have to look that they're still looking okay. That looks okay to me. Yeah, there we go. And we add a bit of shadow here, since that will give it a bit of dimension. Yeah. Okay. Let's go for the left wing now. Thank you, Jonas. You reassure me with my shaky, wobbly lines. You know, you keep on doing something that seems kind of off and wrong, and you do it long enough, and it becomes part of your style. Okay. This guy's here. Whoop, that was too thick. That was a brush playing up. There we go. Let me blind this layer. Nice. Feels right. Kind of quite nice and center. And it reminds me of a lot of postcards and kind of little cards that my grandma used to have. My grandma was a Catholic grandma, and she had a bunch of these next to candles, and it always scared the shit out of me. It really looked like a kind of a very creepy looking area that I wouldn't get close to. And my grandma had a bunch of these angels surrounded by candles, and this is what I'm trying to bring into this angel here, that kind of weird look of judgment and stuff that you don't fully understand. So okay, let's do this here now. Weird eyes with eyelids here. I wonder if I should fill this in with black. That's quite cool, actually. Yeah, let's leave it by that. Okay, do I ever struggle to come up with titles for characters? Yeah, all the time. A lot of the time, a lot of the times where I can't come up with a title, I just leave it. I just leave it as untitled, and I kind of let it brew. And when I come back to it, something comes to me eventually. So um, I think the main thing for me is not to worry about it too much. Like, the work is done, the character is there, the name will come later. Not to sound like some kind of weird mystical narrative person, but the character will talk to you, and the name will come up eventually. Thank you, Jonas. Yeah, creepy Catholic cards. They're quite scary. So I'm glad I can use some of that trauma on here. Okay, Nick. Sorry to bring him up a lot, but I love the shaky lens of Matsumoto. Oh, Nick, by all means, bring up Matsumoto as much as you want. Like I said, I spent an hour on a podcast talking about Matsumoto, so, and that was not enough. I kept on going on about him. So yeah, of course, Matsumoto is the master of shaky lines, and hence why my work looks the way it looks today. Okay, eyelid here. Ooh, yeah, creepy, creepy. I like that. Okay. Creepy eyes everywhere. Yeah, yeah. I'm very pleased with that, actually. Okay. Another eye here. Okay. That's right, Nick. We gotta keep on talking about Matsumoto in every single live stream. I'll be very happy with that. Okay, Cooltons is back. Are there any artists that will directly inspire my art style? My art style, sorry. Yes, Coultons, we were just actually talking about Matsumoto, and since you've been to a few live streams now, this is going to become a bit of a pattern for you. Me chatting about Matsumoto. I just can't get enough of the guy. Also, make sure you look at GP, GIPI. He's an Italian artist, and he's also a master of loose, wobbly lines. Um, so yeah, today we got a digital live stream, so I won't be able to show you any books, but we can do that on the next live stream that I do traditional inks. Okay, doing another eye here. Oh, didn't like that line. Okay. There we go. We got all the creepy eyes of that wing. I feel like if we had a random eye here, it might break the feeling of it being quite uniform, which I would like. Okay, let me try that again. Not sure about that. All right, let me remove that. I'll get back to it eventually. And let's go for the eyes here. Right there. Mm-hmm. Looking good. I wonder if I can add some shadow here. Yeah, I like that. We're gonna leave that for now. Okay. There we go. So in a sparring match with that, do that part scene some stick job. All right. Okay. Try to get this line right. It's just a bunch of eyes, you know. So it's gonna take a while, but that's part of the job. Okay, another eye here. And again, I like to make sure that all the eyes are looking in different directions, which will give you a sense that they're moving as the angel shows up. I know it's just a one standing image and it doesn't actually move, but you know what I mean? Like, it feels like all the eyes are kind of moving in different directions at the same time in a very creepy way. Probably very quick blinking. Okay. Got this tiny eye here. And there we go. We got all the eyes on those wings, and I can blind the rough layer, and you can see how everything is looking so far. I'm quite pleased with how it's looking. Let me add some wings here and add some shadow to give it some depth right there. Okay, there we go. Now, let's have a look at the rough and we'll see where we move on to. Perhaps I should work on the actual sword and get get that sorted, since it's kind of a crucial part of the whole piece. So I'm gonna try and draw a very thin line here. I'm gonna use the actual straightening tool here. So I just hold my finger to the screen and it will make it quite straight. While I do like shaky lines, doing long swords is not something where uh, the shaky lines are going to look good. If it makes a sword look quite wonky and it's such a long piece, it just won't do the trick. So what I do like to do to swords is I grab off tiny bits on the sides in random parts and I make battle dents on the sword so they look like they've been kind of chipped off a little bit. There you go. And that kind of gives it like a worn look, which, as you know, I enjoy to see in a lot of my characters. Let's add some shadow here so it feels like the handle of the sword is resting on top of the blade. And that adds a lot of depth to the actual character, making it look less 2D. Thank you guys, thank you Nick, thank you Kieran. Appreciate the feedback. And we move on to the next part. So I'm going to do something quickly here. So every now and then I need to correct something on my sketches. So it's not a rough, it's not an ink, it's a correction. So I usually use red ink for that. Don't ask me why. I guess probably because it's easier to see. And I'll go for one of my pencils. Messy pencils should do. And I need to see his rib cage. And I need to see where it goes. So that'll be his chest ends here. And it goes right there. Probably his belly button is somewhere there. His abs are here. And that will help me kind of basically draw around that so I don't deviate from his actual form. So, all right, I can lower the opacity on that and use that as a guide as I draw on top of it. My pen seems to be running out of battery again, so I'm going to put it up. There you go. And while I do that, I'll use my fingers to show you all of my cards. So we got the Goblin card. You guys have to tell me which one is your favorite. We got the Treasure card. I enjoy working on that, and I add a lot of shiny bits here. Look at all those jewels. Okay. I've got the Samurai card, which unfortunately it has a lot of detail, but it doesn't translate on the actual printed card because it's too small. But I spend a lot of time working on it. You can see these very shaky lines on the mask. And, there's a lot of kind of roughness to the lines here. You can see the brushes that I use on the hair, and the kind of rough brushes I use in the background. And it is a real shame that the actual printed card, the Samurai token, doesn't show a lot of the detail purely because it's too small. It's too small to see all of it. But such is life. And this is my favorite card, the Wizard. I drew this while chilling in a coffee shop in New York, and I just have a good memory of working on it. I think I was on fire, had caffeine all over, inside my brain. I was unstoppable that day, and I did this within an hour, and I'm quite happy with it, and it looks really good on print. Oh, Kieran, you should actually frame them. Like that'd be really cool, actually. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with these cards. I'm quite pleased I started doing the tokens, and also by the reception that I've gotten from everyone. Wanting to buy them and wanting to subscribe to the Patreon to get more cards, and it's just giving me a chance to kind of draw really fun stuff. And here we got the skeleton guy. You can see the same brush I used on him there. He's pretty rough. I think it's one of the first cards I drew for it when I wasn't sure if I was going to print them or not. but you know, it worked out. So here we go. Okay, and that's that. I mean, I'm sure I've got more cards, but I don't know if I've got them here. Let me have a look. Oh yeah, I've got the knight there and the warrior. I think that's kind of about it. Okay, going back to the angel. And let's see if my Apple Pencil has charged properly. Well, not properly, but a little bit more. 46%. Perfect. All right, let's get back into it. All right. So, black ink, uh, charcoal chrome brush, and we're back in it. Make sure that we're on the right layer. And here we go. So we're going to wrap this kind of rag around the angel. You know, a lot of these angels, they show up with kind of this kind of flowy clothing, like it's very kind of biblical stuff. I guess it's all based on Middle Eastern attire from back in the day, and it's all these kind of flowy garments. So I'm trying to do a bit of that. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's right, Nick. I spend a lot of time in coffee shops. I do a lot of work there as well. Fun enough, I did a lot of pages in a coffee shop called Blackbird in South London, and I always find it quite funny that you know I work on Bird King in a coffee shop called Blackbird. Yep, that's that. Okay, so yeah. Come on. Okay, flowy rack here. That works. And let's work on the second set of wings. Uh, I think I got those wings from. Well, a lot of this character is based on that Digimon character, that Angel, that I thought was super cool when I was younger. So I'm trying to bring a lot of that character into here. Okay. Second set of wings. Okay. Shadow to give it some depth. Go. And now that I've done that, I kind of want to bring some shadow here. Yeah, that works. And there you go. A lot of these bits that I'm drawing right now, like this here, probably won't we won't be able to see them on the actual printed cards because you get a lot of bleed that needs to be given on the actual printout. But nevertheless, it's worth drawing it to kind of keep a consistent view of the actual character and to see where all the elements go. So yeah, okay. Okay, second set of wings done. It's not very symmetrical. One of the wings is kind of wonky, uh, but it kind of works. Let me see. Oh, let me blind this guy. We don't need this anymore. Actually, I'm going to delete that layer. And let's add some texture to the sword. There we go. Oh, Nick, you're a Digimon guy, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I love how Digimon, like, the characters, they evolve into completely different things from what they looked like before. Whether in Pokemon, they always look kind of similar, and it was just kind of the same character with different add-ons. But in Digimon, it was just an entirely different character after they evolved, and I always found it quite fascinating. Also, the actual style of the illustrations in that show, they had these massive feet and these massive hands, and they had these really chunky shoes, and there was something really cool about that. Okay, so third set of wings, here we go. Okay, okay. Shadow here. Try and get some depth within the wing there. Same here. Add some texture, random lines. Same here. Okay, I think we're getting there. And okay, I'm going to do something that's going to look weird, but bear with me. I feel like this armor is a bit lower, so I'm going to pull it up a little bit, right there, so he doesn't look as elongated as he looked before. I think this feels a lot better. So now the rest of the ruff looks a bit off, but I want to get this kind of skirt armor in a different position, so I think it works a lot better. Let me know what you think. Okay, here we go. Also, I could chip off bits of it here. There you go. Add some shadow. Cast a shadow over the next panel of the armor. Dent and texture. And more flowy clothes. Flowy curtains. Right there. Okay. Let's go for the next one. And we can add shadow here as that flowy kind of mantle on top of the armor should be casting a shadow too. Same here. That's right, holy curtains. With all the power that comes with them. Okay. Shadow being casted here. Some texture. Let's chip off some of his armor here. Okay, oh, actually that's quite nice. Let's do it again here. Yep, that works. Oh, I've got this bit of curtain hanging there, so I'm going to add that. Do the same here, actually. Next bit. And we add texture and a little kind of battle damage all over the armor. Maybe add some casting shadow to the studs. Okay. Let's double check, see how everything's looking so far. I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah, quite happy with that. Let me follow some of these ribbons all the way here. Okay. And we'll fill this in with black here. Okay, now we'll carry on with the hurley curtains. Hurley curtains here, hurley curtains there. And we're going to cast some shadow here and here. Okay, we got a question from Nick. What kind of things are used as reference when sketching out clothes and armors for characters? Nick, it truly depends on what I'm doing. So like I said, with this character, it was all about kind of religious archangels and kind of very Catholic, scary looking things. And also initially I use a lot of that Digimon kind of reference, and I just kind of mix them up. I usually put together a bunch of images on Pinterest, and I kind of use them as a kind of, well, an ideas board, and I kind of take it from there. It makes it a lot easier. All right. So, oh no, I see. You see, I've got this kind of sketchy pencil here in the background. That means this should go black. That means things are getting dark up there. Yeah. And now we've got this weird looking moon that, again, I think I got that from some religious poster with some archangel type of thing. All right, let me see if I can do this by hand. I'll stop there and I'll continue somewhere here. Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. I got this. Nah. I'll start from here. Jesus Christ. All right. All right, that's not too bad. Okay, let's try and do the next one there. I'm doing all these freehand, by the way. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. It's not perfect, but it works. And now I can join these two here. That's going to be black. So you just grab this color and you drop it there. Oh, well, that didn't work, did it? Okay, I think it escaped that way. Let's make sure there's no gaps. Let's try it again. Okay. Okay. Here we go. It's more like it. All right. Cast a shadow here. Add some lines. Whoop. Okay. Now I think all I've got to do is draw those kind of cartoony looking clouds from the background, and I think we're pretty much there. Obviously, I can't see his nipples, so I'm not going to add the nipples there, but his chest should be somewhere here. Let's add some scars on the side. Okay. I think we have a very scary looking angel so far, so I'm quite pleased with how that's looking. I think this pauldron could do with a bit more texture. Okay, all right, let's work on those funny looking clouds. Come on, I'm in the wrong layer. Yep, that's right. Okay. Like I said, a lot of these kind of edge, like lines close to the edge, you're not going to be able to see them on the final print, but it's good to have them in there to kind of not break the flow of the lines. Okay, got those here. Clouds there. All right, so we'll move these aside. Let's get rid of the actual guide. Okay. And this is how we're looking, guys. I think we are looking good. Um, and this should make a nice looking token. Uh, I know some of you are token goals and necromancers on Patreon, so you are definitely getting this card, and you should be pretty excited. Let me try and now add random bits of shadow. I don't add shadows in a very methodical way. There is no real sense of the lighting in a lot of my drawings, so I just do it for kind of for aesthetics and for kind of uh, dramatic effect, really. So don't think too much about the way I add my shadows because there's no real methodology behind it. Okay. Thanks, Kieran. Thank you. I'm very pleased with this little angel. So um, I'm going to have to color it and then see how it looks on a tiny little token card. But I've got a feeling it's going to be really cool. Okay, let me add some shadow here. Okay. Uh, let's see the guides, and I think that's what you get to see of the actual card once it gets printed. So yeah, that's kind of it. Obviously, it's a lot faster than doing traditional inking. You guys have seen me trying to do pages, and it takes a while, and a lot of things can go wrong. But when you're working digitally, things are a lot faster. Uh, mistakes are very easily corrected, and you can be more exact with a lot of things. Um, yeah, I think this is pretty much done. I just need to color this guy and then send it to the printers. Uh, Now it's a matter of choosing the right colors, and that will be very interesting. Let me know in the comments after I log out, after we finish the live stream, if you want to see the colors of this piece, and then we'll do a whole live stream just for the colors of it. If you're not interested, then don't leave any comments, and I'll just do another traditional page for Birkin next time. Okay, Kash is asking about where do you get Muji 5 Slim and the Mod Chrome. I thought those were on the brushes on my site. I'll double check. They should be in the set of Chrome brushes. Uh, if they're not, I'm gonna have to have a look. As you know, sometimes I take some of my brushes and I keep on changing them, and I just give them extra names. For example, the Muji 5 Slim, I made that quite recently for a very specific purpose. So I'm not sure if you'll find a lot of use for it, but here it is. It's basically super thin. You can barely see it, and I can't remember what I was working on, but I just had to make these kind of very thin looking lines. Um, but the one that you definitely need is the Mod Chrome brush. So I'll have a look in the brushes on the site. It should be on there, but I'll double check. And if it's not, I'll just add it, and then you can just buy the whole set. All right, you guys, thank you so much, and thank you for joining me. I think this is the stream with the most viewers we've had so far, so I appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next live stream. And feel free to leave comments on the actual video, so I know what you want to get on the next live stream. All right. Thank you all and have a lovely day. Bye.